Ready?
This is what a juiced map looks like on a PlayStation 5.
Meet in the middle, baby!
In this video, I'm going to go over some of the confirmed changes by the developers, some community predictions, and my Hail Mary outlandish wishes for the patches. But optimization has got to be priority number one for me and my council brethren. So stick around and we'll dive into
know.
it.
I
Let's get
crashed.
started. What's up, y'all? It's your boy Mighty Mouth here, back with another video. So, like I said, in today's video, we're going to go over some of the more confirmed things that are going to come, some of the community wishes that I've seen across the Reddits and all that, and some of my Hail Mary predictions, which this image gives you a foreshadowing into what I want to come in the upcoming patch. But we're going to start with passive tree changes, skill balance, ascendancy nodes, campaign changes, new unique items, new weapon sets, and then we'll get into the outlandish stuff that I want. So I asked Chatgpt to scour the webs and get me a comprised list of confirmed changes and predictions from users across the internet. And from what I can tell, it told me that it is confirmed that there are buffs for underused skills and ascendancies. It is confirmed that the removal of cruel difficulty tier is coming. I don't know how it ascertained that, but it says it's confirmed. Atlas enhancements, better minion AI, and new events. Weapon swap improvements and movement tweaks. And tutorials, new trade systems akin to the Alva trade system, and stuff like that. So let's dive into breaking all that down. So Grinding Gear Games has basically stated that they're going to rework skills to make them feel better in the end game, be that the speed scaling, damage scaling, mana cost scaling. So they don't go from Act 1 heroes to red map zeros. They have to scale into the end game. Every skill they want to make viable. So I think a big proponent of that is a lot of the melee skills are going to have their attack times cut down. They're going to have to scale with attack speed and skill speed a little bit better. The mana cost maybe need to be tweaked a little bit on some of them. And there's some skills that are too powerful with minimal investment. For example, Lightning Spear. You can use Tangle Tongue, which has 80 damage on it, and somehow it just nukes everything. But I have a mace with 900 damage on it and 7 to skills on it, and I can't even one-shot bosses with most of the skills in the mace tree. You can't even 2, 3, 4, 5-shot bosses unless you're absolutely investing an incredible amount of time, currency, and just overall frustration into it. Another key point are the changes to ascendancy nodes, or just, in my opinion, the Blood Mage is one of the strongest ascendancies, but the first 2 points are useless. It is the first 2 ascendancy points you get are mandatory. You don't get to pick which direction you go. You gotta take them, and it's a net negative to the build, and it's a problem that you have to solve instantly. So you basically, in that case, get your first 4 points and then start putting ascendancy points in. That feels bad. With other ascendancies, I think that there needs to be a little bit more connectivity between them. Like Warbringer, for example. If you're a Warbringer and you're lucky enough to find a shield that has high block chance, but you want to use Turtle Charm, there's no sense in even finding a shield that has block chance on it, because the block chance is going to be 40% no matter what. So I think there needs to be a way that you could navigate to Turtle Charm without having to go through that node. Be it connected to the War Cries blow up corpses, and then that can go to these 2 nodes, either Turtle Charm, or it can go to the removal of cooldowns on War Cries. I think the changes to the totems, spirits need to happen. You got to be able to pick your totem spirit. just like you can with the concoctions on the Pathfinder, just like you can with the immunities on the Pathfinder. It doesn't just randomize, and here and there and everywhere you get, oh, maybe you're immune to freeze this time. Maybe you're immune to shock this time. So I think it just needs to be more uniform. And those type of changes are going to be going across the board. I feel like they said they're going to fix things. How I would fix it is making small numerical tweaks to some of the things and making other things connect to more things so that you can get more diversity in your choices and feel like you have more player agency. So the next topic ChatGPT told me about was the campaign. They are removing cruel. Apparently, ChatGPT said this is confirmed. They're removing cruel and they're streamlining the early acts to make them a little bit faster so you can get to the end game a little bit faster. Player community wishes from the players was shorter acts, more variety, and new acts. So hopefully they're delivering on that front. Maybe they change things a little bit to make some of the maps a little smaller, more streamlined, more linear, so there's not as many dead ends. But if there are dead ends, there should be things that you can find there that reward your exploration as opposed to reward your exploration with frustration of just reaching a dead end. So the third topic is the end game. ChatGPT has told me that they're making enhancements to the Atlas, so you should expect new map events, better loot from pinnacle bosses, and a refined list of map modifiers. Coming with that is better minion AI, so minion builds should be able to target and move more intelligently, so they're not just like running into shit all the time. And also, there's new events inside the map, similar to the old PoE leagues where you would be like just having encounters popping up in the wild. Allegedly, that is confirmed. There's going to be some stuff that goes on all the time, randomly throughout your mapping experience. Now, the community wishes on that side are more like simplified map layouts, more steeps, more savannas, more slick, more stuff like that. Instead of just big labyrinth-esque maps, they need to just simplify it. People are wanting more league mechanics, which I'm assuming they're addressing based on what we're being told. And they want new bosses. And they've confirmed that there's going to be bosses in the form of tribal bosses. So hopefully that's something for us to look forward to in the future. Next are movement and swap adjustments. So weapon swap speed will now reflect and respect the attack speed on the weapon, and they're putting in safeguards to prevent mid-combat swaps. That's what ChatGPT is telling me that they've ascertained from a variety of sources. That is a huge pain point for me playing Wind Dancer. If you put a wand on or a shield on in your other offhand and you don't have a martial weapon, it will put whatever skill responds to that thing, be it Ray's Shield or be it a Living Bomb or whatever, on the first available button on your skill bar on PlayStation. So you equip it, you don't realize it, it puts it over your interact button, which is X. You hit X to pick something up, you swap in the middle of combat, Wind Dancer no longer procs, and you just get beat to death. So that's a big pain point. Movement tweaks, they say that they're going to be making some general responsiveness tweaks so that it reduces that floaty movement feel. And the community would like about a 15 to 20% movement speed buff to counteract all of the penalties to just equipping gear that nobody knows about. General players are not aware that when you put on a piece of armor, it can reduce your movement speed by 3 to 5%. You have a helmet, you have body armor, you have boots, you have gloves, you have a shield. All these things, when you equip them, actually reduce your movement speed, which makes movement speed on your boots basically absolutely necessary just to counteract the original reductions to your movement speed. So, if they improved the baseline movement speed, not only would it help you streamline through the campaign more, it would also make it to where it wouldn't be such a prerequisite to a good build to have movement speed on your boots. I think that is something they really need to work on. Also, just general feedback, I would expect like a training dummy or something to be coming in to help you figure out your builds and things of that nature, what type of damage you're doing. with stuff like that. Next, we can talk about crafting and trading. So it's telling me that they're going to be putting in crafting tutorials aimed at helping new players understand affixes, item bases, and crafting outcomes. I don't know how true that is, but it has been confirmed that they're prototyping a more in-game approach to trading comparable to the Alva Temple style trades without fully automating it, I guess, but something like that. The community wishes regarding this are a real crafting bench to give more player agency, which I don't know that I'm fully behind, because then if you can just make whatever item you want with whatever affix you want, it's going to kind of take away that dopamine hit when you get something good. Better currency systems, like more accessibility to vendor trades, uh, improved currency stacking slash sorting, stuff of that nature. Okay, so now we're just going to kind of rapid fire through some of my wants, my wishes, and my Hail Mary predictions. Passive tree. We need generic modifiers. We need things that just work, like increased damage. Instead of increased melee damage in the beginning, and instead of increased area of effect damage with attacks, that just sounds crazy to say. Like, it's just a really long verbiage for something that could just be increased area of effect damage. And then there's increased physical attack damage. Just make it increased attack damage. Or just make it increased damage. That way, war cries can scale off of it because they're not a spell, they're not an attack. We need global defenses. Just increase global defenses. That way, it just works for whatever. You know, or flat armor, flat evasion, flat energy shield, max life. You need percent max life nodes, maybe resistance nodes, a few more of those so you can better cap your resistances without having to put a bunch of runes and all these things, because every build is so stat heavy that you need to have stats on at least 3 or 4 pieces of gear which take up the suffixes that could be the resistances that you need. I think they just overall need to take away all the tit for tat, like the increased damage, but we're reducing your attack speed, because after all, attack speed is a direct correlation to damage per second. The faster you attack, the more damage you deal per second. So just because you increase the damage, you reduce the attack speed. So certain skills, that's going to be a wash. Those two things need to just be. Either increase the damage or increase the attack speed. You should not be, oh, well, we'll give you this, but we're going to take away that. The one node that gives you reduced movement speed but increased life regeneration while stationary, remove that. Just remove it. Take it away. The game penalizes you for standing still because there's death around every corner. So why would I want to move slower throughout the maps just to gain life regeneration while I'm standing still, which will never be happening? I don't know. That's just my passive tree ones. So skill balance, again, they need to just affect the mana cost, the attack speed, stuff like that. Just bring all the lower skills up. I don't even know that I would want them to bring some of the upper skills down so much. I mean, small numerical nerfs, but it affects more of the new players and stuff than it affects the real blasters. The blasters are going to find a way regardless, but the new players might not, you know? So that's something. More connectivity on the Ascendancy nodes would be good. Some changes to make it, you get to pick some things that are more random. The campaign changes we've already covered. That's pretty well and good. I think they need new unique items. They need some unique items that change things that feel kind of stale, like war cries. Maybe you could change the way they interact, or change their damage type, or make war cries into an attack tag so that the damage can scale with attacks, stuff like that. We need to get axes already. We need axes or daggers or flails or something. I would hope that they bring in more than one class, maybe Druid and Templar. But my main thing, I want to be able to dual wield shields. And maybe you only get the damage from your shield ability off the shield in your main hand, but you get the block chance and the resistances from the shield in the offhand so that you can have a really high armor shield for damage, and then you could use like a Svalens or something to get the lucky block chance. And it would just be a power fantasy that no other game has really done. That's my opinion. That's pretty much it. If you like what you saw, give us a sub, leave a comment down below if I missed anything that you would want. You already know what it is. You are enough. Stay blessed. And as always, stay mouthy. We'll see you on the next one.